What's good, YouTube? This is Jay from TNJ, and welcome back to the Indianapolis Arrows franchise. The Arrows are at the All-Star break, literally at 545 and 45 as we look at the Home Run Derby to start this episode. And the Arrows are a really good team in my opinion. I just think the MLB is like really good this year. Everybody's kind of beating each other up. So that's kind of why you're seeing, us not really thriving or us doing terribly. I think everybody's like just a good, solid team. But we start in the Home Run Derby where I first want to highlight Pete Alonso. He's hitting 354, 1,200 OPS, and he has 39 home runs at the All-Star break, which is ridiculous. He's on pace to possibly break the home run record. I don't know if that's going to happen, but it possibly could with the season that he's having. We do have a home run participant this year, and this is the first time we've had it in this series. Joey Meneses, who has 24 home runs. He's hitting 323, slugging at 567, so he gets his shot here in the Home Run Derby, as he is one of the lower seeds, but nonetheless, we have a participant. We will see what he can do here. We will highlight what he does here in this Home Run Derby, as he gets his at-bat versus Austin Riley, who's hit 6 home runs in 2 minutes. We'll see what Meneses can do. One thing I love about Joey Meneses is that when we acquired him, he kind of just hit the ground running. He is more of just a DH, in my opinion. He is a terrible fielder, but he has excellent power. As you can see, he's in the Home Run Derby. Now, one thing I want to see from him, though, is really some consistency down the stretch of the season. I think that that's one thing that we're going to need. That one was gone to deep center field. Wow, that one was crushed. But this is honestly what his strong suit is. He's going to drive in runs, and I think that one thing about the middle of our lineup this year is that that's what we're going to need to do, hit for alley power, extra base hits, things like that. We don't really have necessarily the speed at the MLB level to, produce runs with just singles. I think we're going to be, a team that's going to have to hit for extra base hits, home runs, things like that. But now with 45 seconds to go, Joey Meneses 5 home runs on the board so far. He needs 2 more to advance the next round. That one was crushed deep to left center. That's gone. 407. 1 more to advance to the next round. And he hits one well to left field. That one's off the top of the wall. 24 seconds to get 1 more. And there it is. Crushed deep to center field. 445. He earned the extra time with that home run, but he does not need it. And he advances on to face Pete Alonso. 39 home runs at the All-Star break. We have to go first in this round since we are the lower seed. But here we go. He had 7 in the first. Pete Alonso had 8 in the first round. So here we go. A weird swing to open it up. He fouls that one off down the first baseline. The second one is fouled off down the left field line. The third one's hit well, but stays in the yard. That one makes it to the warning track. This one fouled down the left field line. He might need a little breather right here. This one's low and inside. Fly ball to left field. It stays in the yard. So 0 home runs through the first 40 seconds as he just cannot square a pitch up. He keeps hitting pop-ups, foul balls, staying in the yard. He has 0 home runs through the first minute. And he finally gets one there. Deep to center field. And now he's going to start to get into a groove. Joey Meneses hits 1 deep down the left field line. That one was barely fair. He's got 2. Make it 3. So 3 in a row here. 441. Let's get another 440 home run just to get that extra 30 seconds to hit some more dingers here. But Meneses is not squaring these pitches up. Fly ball to center field. He's got 3 with 20 seconds to go. That one's hit well. That one's gone. It goes 426. This one's fouled off, and now he might only have 1 more shot to get that extra 30 seconds. A good pitch. This one's deep to left center field. Will it make it 440? It makes it 415. Only 5 home runs here in round number 2. Pete Alonso actually had 9 in the first round. 458 was his longest home run. We'll see what Alonso does here. So he has 3 through the first 40 seconds of the Derby here this round, and now he has 4 with about a minute to go. He only needs 2. He goes back to back here. So now he only needs 1 home run in the final 50 seconds. He's surely going to get this right. Fouls that one down the left field line. This one's popped up to right center field. It stays in the yard. 37 seconds remaining. This one's a fly ball to left field. Will this go? It won't. It's just shy of the warning track. Now with 26 seconds left, a line drive down the left field line. Pete Alonso could be choking here, but this one is deep to left center. That's going to do it. Pete Alonso advances to the next round. Meneses gets at least through one round and then loses to Pete Alonso, who's leading the MLB in home runs. But Alonso goes on to lose to Kyle Tucker, who was just consistent. 8 home runs in each round, and he goes on to win the home run derby. That was pretty fun. I've never even done a home run derby before, and we get at least one player in here in this series, so that's pretty exciting here. Kyle Tucker, though, takes it home as we are at the All-Star break. But we get to see each level here at the All-Star break, and we will start at our AA affiliate here, and they play in the Texas League, so a lot more All-Stars than a normal All-Star game. Let's just name a few. Leo Gonzalez was a lefty we drafted back in season number 3. He's been pretty good for us, but still developing. Roger Sting was one of the original prospects in this series. He is actually doing really, really well developing, but still it's been a while. Lonnie Gonzalez was another left-hander that we drafted back in season 2, but John Field is probably my favorite prospect. He has been amazing, and he will get the start in the All-Star game. He has been incredible. His numbers are comparable to one of the best in the minor league baseball, like altogether. Enrique Villalobos was one of those guys we drafted last year, and he was the number 1 ranked prospect as a closing pitcher, and we ended up selecting him in the second round, which was incredible. He dropped all the way down there, and we ended up snagging him up. Some other guys, Marquise Parsons, who was a utility player in our organization, he's actually been at the MLB level. In the playoffs, we had him as a pinch runner. He actually, I think, got an at-bat. Jacob Martin won the minor leaguer of the year in season number 1 for us. He's a power-hitting first baseman. And then João Paulo is a outfielder who is also a kind of a extra base hitter. That's what he kind of is. But John Field so far has a 1.96 ERA, a .94 WHIP. He went to the University of Pennsylvania, Penn State University, and he is going to be a guy that's going to be a force in the future. Now, I floated around in the past, should we give John Field a boost? Because he would have been minor leaguer of the year last year, and we'll see what he does in the All-Star game. The first batter he faces, Robert Girard, ends up swinging and missing at that changeup. Yanni Hernandez comes to the plate now, 3-2 pitch. John Field delivers, and another sinker across the middle of the plate. Throws Hernandez off. 2 straight strikeouts to start the All-Star game. Well, now he faces Douglas Shibuya, who was one of the top prospects back in season number 1. He swings and misses. That's a swinging strike 3, and he strikes out the side to open the All-Star game. And look at the ump. The ump needs to check him even going back to the dugout, but a good start here for John Field. George Springer up to the plate tonight, faces some major league competition here, and that's a swinging strike 3. As Springer is down at the AA level now. And the next batter comes to the plate, and that will be a first walk of the game here for Field. So now runner on first base. Now 1-2 count to the next batter here. The 6th batter of the game will come up and swing as well. All 5 outs so far in this game have been strikeouts. John Field showing off what he can do as he faces Ozuna. Another one. 6 strikeouts through 7 batters and 1 walk. John Field is on a roll. So now let's go to an at-bat here for Jacob Martin, who's hitting .313 so far in this AA season. He hits one well to right field. That one was tattooed, but an out there as you move on to the top of the 3rd inning. Here's John Field still on the mound and still dealing. That's 7 straight outs with strikeouts. How many can he go? Can he go to 9? Look at where this pitch is located. John Field is a special type of pitcher. In my opinion, he's our top pitching prospect ahead of Terrell Blake, who is close to making his MLB debut. That brings up Henry Gallegos, who does walk there. That brings up the top of the lineup here. Robert Girard back at the plate, and he swings and misses again. He struck out twice, and that's the 8th straight out that ends in a strikeout here for John Field. Can he make it 9? Ground ball to short. and that one will be the third out of the inning. But what an outing here for Field. We will only pitch him 3 innings here in this All-Star game, but that was excellent. 8 strikeouts, and he gets 9 outs. What an excellent outing here for John Field. I think after this, I'm definitely going to give him the super boost. Like, he deserves a huge boost. Like, there are prospects that happen in real life that are here in real life that all of a sudden are nowhere to be found in the top, 50 to 100 rankings, and then they all of a sudden shoot up in one season. This is what John Field's going to get. I'm going to give him a big boost. It's going to be close to about 10 overall. Like, it's going to be a huge boost. But to counteract that, I'm going to do that as well for another prospect for the Wranglers, who are our rivals. And I will probably highlight that next episode. But I think John Field deserves it. He was going to be our minor leaguer of the year last year, and he looks like he's on his way this year. Like, he deserves a huge boost. Like, that was a dominant performance. He looks like one of the best prospects in baseball. So I'm going to treat him like that. So going into the MLB All-Star game, we only have one guy that's really a shoe-in, and that's Archie Bradley. He is one of the best relievers. Remember, he won Reliever of the Year last year. They call it Delivery Man of the Year now, but he won that award last year. He deserves it. And then also Joey Meneses, he also deserves it. Hit .323, participating in the Home Run Derby. But those two are the only 2 guys we have in the All-Star game this year. So one batter, one pitcher, at least is better than just one player altogether. So now we look at Joey Meneses' appearance here in the All-Star game. I believe he's made it here before. I think this is his second appearance. As he faces Alexis Diaz on the mound, he comes in to pinch hit here in the top of the 8th inning. As now he gets a 3-1 count here. Probably a good pitch to hit here. He gets one over the middle of the plate. A little late on that one, but that was right over the middle of the plate. It's a fly ball to right field. As that will be an out to Acuna in right. So Archie Bradley gets his 1 appearance here in the bottom of the 8th inning as he faces the top of the lineup here for the NL. As that one will be a curveball low, 2-2 pitch now. And that one smoked up the middle and a base hit. And the NL have a leadoff runner here in the bottom of the 8th. We'll see if Bradley can get out of this. So that brings up Indy Rodriguez to the plate. A swinging ball up in the zone. And it's a strike him out, throw him out. And Archie Bradley gets 2 quick outs on that pitch. All right, Mookie Betts comes in to pinch hit now. It's a 3-2 pitch to Mookie. He gets one over the middle. And Archie Bradley just catches too much of the zone, and that is gone. That was crushed. Had no doubt. And Mookie Betts showing why he's one of the best players in all of baseball over the last decade or so. And he just absolutely tattoos that pitch. And that ends up being the difference in the game. The NL goes on to win 2-1 after Archie Bradley gets credited with that loss. So I guess you can't always have great All-Stars. Archie Bradley had a bad outing there. Gave up a home run, which eventually went on to win the ball game. So we've had a couple of big All-Star appearances so far. Meneses in the Home Run Derby. John Field striking out 8 of 9 outs in his AA Texas League debut in the All-Star game. And now we move on to AAA, where we have a couple of All-Stars here, starting with Bryce Williamson, who actually has appeared at the MLB level back in season number 2. And looking at him right now at the AAA level, he looks like he's ready to come up to the major leagues, but we will see. Like, he has amazing numbers, but we're going to see, what our MLB pitching staff looks like, as we've kind of had some inconsistencies this year, so it could be a possibility we see him up there. One of our top prospects in the organization, who we drafted with the first-round pick back in season number 3, is Jackie Cochran, who's got excellent power. He's a high 70s overall, still only 19 years old. I'm really in no rush to move him up, but he definitely could make an appearance possibly this year, but I would shoe in for sure next season. So here is Bryce Williamson on the mound. We get to check him out. He got the start here at the AAA level, and he will get the first batter to swing and miss at 1 low in the dirt. Now he faces the second batter here, 2-2 pitch, a low slider, swinging strike 3, so 2 straight strikeouts for Bryce Williamson. Williamson is 29 years old. He's not quite the spring chicken, but he is still a valuable player in our organization. He faces Ernest Armas, who hits one well to left field. That's gone. Our second home run given up here in this episode by an All-Star. That one was just absolutely crushed in the wheelhouse of Armas, and he does not miss that one. And Williamson is a guy that has a high walks per 9 and has kind of lower other ratings like strikeouts per 9 and hits per 9. But he's an excellent sim pitcher for that reason. And he gets Josh Bell to ground out to second base. But a pretty good appearance for him. I mean, he did give up the big fly, but still, I like what I see from him. Here is Jackie Cochran, who comes to the plate now in the 5th inning and gets a base hit to right field. Cochran is going to probably play second base in the future. Now, one thing about second base for our team, we used to have Ian Happ at second. Now we have Brandon Lau, but Lau is actually struggling. He's hitting about 220. So there is a possibility that Jackie Cochran could get an opportunity if Lau continues to struggle. I think that's his ticket to get to the major league level. It could happen. Who knows? But Cochran has got some amazing power. He leads AAA in home runs right now, so that's definitely his calling card. But here he goes 1 for 4 in the All-Star game. He actually plays the entire game, and he flies out to center field right there. But he has some big-time potential with his bat. He reminds me kind of Paulo Reyes when he was coming up. That potential that he has, I think, is a lot bigger, though. Paulo Reyes obviously is a great hitter of ours, and he's been at the MLB level for the past few years now. But I think that, a guy like we see in Jackie Cochran, I think he has like 40 home run potential, I'm talking. So back to the MLB level where the arrows are 45 and 45 halfway through the season. I guess this is a little over halfway through the season, a little over that. But looking at, how our AAA and AA affiliates are doing, we are doing well. Like, we won in AA the first half, and now we are slated to, go to the playoffs. But if we win the second half, we will go straight to the championship series. So that is excellent. Now, 2 episodes ago, we made a trade. We traded Dylan Carlson for Brandon Woodruff, and Woodruff is obviously one of the best pitchers in baseball, but he is 34 years old, and he is declining. But he has a 2-year contract, 2 years remaining on his contract, including this year. So I think we will get the best remaining baseball out of him, and we will see how he contributes to this rotation. One thing I like about our rotation is that we have options. Babe Miller is the weirdest pitcher to figure out. A high ERA, a very low whip. It's pretty incredible. Tayfon Edwards was Rookie of the Year last year. He's still pitching well. Josh Brody was one of the original prospects of this series, but he is really, really thriving as a long reliever. I'm not going to move him into the starting rotation. I'm going to keep him at that long reliever spot because he's pitching so well. And then we have obviously Terrell Blake, who is one of the top prospects, ready to move up. But then we also have Todd Workman, who is struggling. I would say right now we're not pitching bad, but there's just something wrong. Like, sometimes we're giving up way too many runs in these starts. But we start out after the All-Star break versus the Texas Rangers, who are one of the better teams in the MLB this year. They're 50 and 41, so they are pretty good. And Woodruff will make his debut on the road here versus the Rangers. So we give him the nod here. He will pretty much slate in the 3rd spot in our rotation, right behind Jose Urquidy, and then also the Rookie of the Year in Tayfon Edwards. And we'll see what he can do versus this Rangers lineup, who is pretty tough. Like, this is a tough lineup here to face, as they are all hitting pretty well this year, especially the top 5 hitters, but they have kind of a collective batting average that is top 10 in the MLB right now. So this is a really true test to see what Woodruff can do in his debut here with the Arrows. He is 7-7, a 3.66 ERA, a 1.23 whip. And he has 97 strikeouts with 33 walks. He's going to hit that 100 strikeout mark in this game. So here we go. Bubba Thompson leads off. He's got 99 speed, by the way. He is on a 9-game hit streak as well. He swings and misses at the high heater. 98 mile an hour coming from Brandon Woodruff. We know he can throw the ball extremely hard consistently. Tavares to the plate now, and he will swing and miss also. 2 straight strikeouts. It's contagious here in this episode. Our pitchers are getting some strikeouts. Hopefully not giving up home runs, though. Corey Seager. Check swing, outside pitch, and they say he goes around. So for the Arrows debut here for Brandon Woodruff, he strikes out the side, striking out the first 3 batters of the game. So Eloy Jimenez to the plate. He now plays with the Texas Rangers. He's hitting .299 on the year. That hit will probably put him at the 300 mark. That's through the infield for the first single of the game. Ojo Taikan playing in center field now that we traded Dylan Carlson away for Brandon Woodruff, 1-for-1. Alejandro Kirk to the plate hitting .324. Like, he is having an amazing season, a career year for him. He swings and misses as that brings up Marcus Semien to the plate with one out. Chopper to second. Brandon Lau tags the runner going to second of Jimenez. And it's going to be an easy double play. We're through this inning as well, 1-2-3, as that brings up Nathaniel Lowe. He comes up in the bottom of the third, and he swings and misses. Brandon Lau, I believe that's, I'm not sure if they're slip siblings. Brandon Lau, it will be Nathaniel Lau. I'm not really sure there. Brandon Woodruff, though, continuing to deal, though. He's almost through the lineup here through the first 9 batters, as that gets up Garrett Mitchell to the plate, and he hits one well. And that's caught by Ojo Taikan in center. So, Woodruff off to a great start here through the first 3 innings. Now on to the top of the 4th inning. We bring in Seth Beer for the start today in the place of Paulo Reyes, giving him a day off. And he comes in and hits one up the middle. Now, if you remember last year, we had Seth Beer pinch hit in the playoffs, and he came through with a big-time series to replace Paulo Reyes. Seth Beer has just been awesome in this series. Even took a demotion down to AAA and kind of ran with that. That brings up Ray Gonzalez to the plate, who's hitting well. This one down the left field line and knocks off of the foul pole for a home run. It's 2-0 here for the Arrows, and the kid Ray Gonzalez is having himself a breakout season. And you knew this was coming sooner rather than later, and he is hitting well and giving Woodruff a couple of runs to work with here. So bottom 4 now, here's Bubba Thompson at the plate, and that hit streak does continue to 10 games. That one's down the third base line, and Thompson with excellent speed. Oh, the throw was perfect, but Thompson, too much speed right there. His 22nd double of the season. As you know, he's going to try to score on anything to the outfield, as that brings up Tavares to the plate now, 0-for-1. Fly ball to Alex Verdugo. We'll see if Bubba Thompson tags up, and he will. He's testing the arm of Verdugo, and Verdugo throws him out at third. That aggressive base running sometimes comes back to haunt you, and Verdugo with an excellent throw right there. That was to short right field. That play was actually pretty close, though, but a great throw. It was a little off, but Thompson is gunned down at third. That brings up Corey Seager here with 2 outs. Hard hit ball through the infield. That one will keep this inning alive here. That was a 3-2 pitch right there, hit perfectly through the shift. So that brings up Eloy Jimenez, 1-for-1 today. Outside fastball, and he is walking as well, so this 4th inning stays alive. As that brings up Alejandro Kirk, 5th in the AL in batting average so far this year. Inside fastball, strike 3. He can't keep up with that heater, and Woodruff gets through this inning, still no runs given up. Let's check in on Seth Beer again, who I just mentioned is having an excellent career here with the Arrows. He hits one well up the middle. That one gets through, and that one will score too with runners on second and third. And Seth Beer comes through with a 2 RBI double. And it's 4-0 here for the Arrows here in the 5th inning. You got to love Seth Beer, though. He was a guy we picked up back in season number 1's off season, and he's been here ever since. We're now in season 5. Brandon Woodruff, though, here in the bottom of the 5th inning, facing Marcus Semien, who leads off the inning. That is going to be a chopper through the infield. We had a mad shift on for Semien, who's a rich man there in Texas. He got a big-time contract from them, maybe a bit of an overpay, to be honest with you. Well, Woodruff now walks the second batter, and that brings up Rengifo, and now he actually does load up the bases. So we have a decision to make. Do we leave Woodruff in here, or do we, take him out? He faces Garrett Mitchell, swinging strike 3 on the 98-mile-an-hour heater, still at 100 pitches, throwing 98 mile an hour. That brings up Bubba Thompson, who had the double earlier. He swings and misses also. The 2-seamer up in the zone, and now he has a chance to get out of this situation. Bases loaded, no outs. He faces Tavares, who swings and misses. 3 straight walks, and then 3 straight strikeouts. Woodruff with a hell of a debut here for the Arrows. We move on to the bottom of the 9th inning. Marcus Semien at the plate. Archie Bradley in for the save. Fly ball to right field. And an excellent debut from Brandon Woodruff. He makes it through 5. And an excellent victory here versus a very good Texas team as well. A great team victory. We get 8 hits. They get 6. Woodruff did walk a few guys, though. 3 walks. But it ends up being enough. He strikes out 10 in his debut here with the Arrows, giving up 4 hits. Does allow a bit of base runners, but it's okay. It ends up resulting in a win. So now I want to check out the next few starts for Brandon Woodruff just to see what he does. And his next start is versus the lowly Oakland Athletics, 42-61. And this happens. They absolutely crush our pitching staff. Woodruff gave up 5 earned. Josh Brody gave up 4. Todd Workman gave up 3. I have no idea what's up with Workman. He is just giving up runs. I moved into the bullpen and he's still giving up runs. He might just have to be demoted. But then we get some injury news. Keith Rice, broken forearm, out 1 to 2 months. This will mark the 2nd year where he is going to be out with an extended injury. We're already losing Pat Washington for the year with a torn Achilles, and now Keith Rice will probably miss the home stretch of the season. He might return for the playoffs if we make it, or the final couple weeks of the season, but that's about it. And to add insult to injury, he was having a career year. 902 OPS, 297 average. He started the year out in AAA. I knew he would be kind of the leadoff guy in this lineup. Look at this. 91 at-bats, he scored 18 runs. That's a 5th of his at-bats he's scoring a run. Like, that is some big-time production loss right there. So now we have to go to our minors, and I could bring up Oscar Colas, but he did not make a huge impact at the MLB level. So we decided to just move up Jack Sawinski. He was not having a great year in AAA, but he at least has the MLB experience. And that will at least buy us some time if we want to move up Jackie Cochran through the first, through the next, month or so. And then J. Almonte recovers from injury. He was my number 1 choice to move up to the MLB level this year as a prospect. He just gets base hits. He's an excellent, probably leadoff hitter. The speed isn't excellent, but he does have, stealing ability to get to second and then obviously score on a base hit. That's kind of what we value in Keith Rice, but now we're missing him. And then Jackie Cochran, obviously an all-star. He could get moved up at some point, and an option we could have is that we move up Cochran, put him at second base, and move Brandon Lau to the outfield. That's definitely a possibility as well. So now Brandon Woodruff's 3rd start results in a loss. So we have a very good debut with Brandon Woodruff, and then he drops 2 straight. This time it's a 3-2 loss where the offense didn't give him much help, but still ends up resulting in a loss, and I don't put much blame on that one. But then we move on to the next start, and once again, Brandon Woodruff loses. This time giving up 8 earned runs. 8. 2 1/3 innings he made it through, and he gave up 8 runs. That is just crazy. And the Arrows continue to just float around 500. I think that's just been the story of everybody's season this year, because look at the division. We're still only a game back. And in the wild card chase, we're 2 games back. I mean, everybody is just kind of in this bubble of struggling right now, where every game is a grind to win. And I think that this is just indicative of the story this season. Even the Wranglers are only 8 games below 500, and they've been historically bad in this franchise. So we'll see what happens. I think next episode we might get through the entire regular season. We'll see. I kind of want to zoom through this and get to the playoffs and see if we make it. And we have a very, very tough August and into September. I mean, we play all these teams that are like right around that 500 mark or in the playoffs. We play a couple of bad teams, but not too many. I mean, this is going to be a tough last 2 months of the season. So we're going to really have to be on our game. So we could be moving up one of our prospects to give us a spark, and hopefully that will be enough, because we have to do something here or just go on a hot streak. Who knows? Hit subscribe, hit that like button. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We'll be back with more Arrows franchise. Stay tuned. Let's get it. Let's go.
I hope the rain don't